You are now checked in to Stand Up New York Labs. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
No, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't see the clock. I didn't know you started the clock.
Hey, now.
What's that? Oh, don't apologize. I just didn't realize. It's my fault. I was adjusting my head knobs here.
That 8 seconds flew by.
Yeah, 8 seconds is quick.
Yeah, it's
Isn't that
rodeo.
Yeah, 8 seconds. That's
Yeah.
right. With McConaughey and
Luke Perry, I believe.
Luke Perry, McConaughey, they're all the same
Yeah.
homo.
All right, all right, all right.
Yep, that's a different movie. Or-
That's Apocalypse Now.
You got that right.
There it is.
Luke Perry, I used to jerk off all the time to Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, that was
a
close.
kid.
Boy, that was
You scared me there.
Yeah,
That was
no,
gonna be a plot
but
twist.
I remember one of the times, because when I started jerking off, it was around when that movie was, popular and at least out on VHS. When I really started cranking it. When I think the first time I ever jerked off, I was third grade. But when I started really,
grade?
really like rubbing the skin off was with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It would always obviously be to her, but a couple of times Luke Perry popped in, and I remember like jizzing to Luke Perry, and then I remember vividly, because I was a very nervous little kid talking to my mom and saying that because I had seen something about homosexuals on the news and about something.
Back when it was a news story.
Yeah, Ernie Anastas from Channel 4 News, New York News, said something about homosexuality is on the rise, and and I remember talking to my mom. I remember talking to my mom about jizzing to Luke Perry, and if that was a problem, and she was like, no, she was supportive. But I remember thinking I was gay early on in my life.
Wow, you talked to her.
Yeah,
you talked to your mom. That's a great relationship.
I told my mom, I thought same story. Rosanna Scotto from Fox 5 News did a whole story about a herpes outbreak in young people, and I was like 13 at the time, still a virgin, and I asked my mom if I had herpes.
Are you watching only news?
When I was yeah.
No wonder why you're a nervous guy. You're watching the news at 11. That's not good.
That's what my mom would do.
That was fun. News at 11. I meant news at the age 11.
Yeah.
But then you say news at 11.
Beep, 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 beep,
That's a
beep.
big thing my mom would do. Watch the news, and then she'd make me read the encyclopedia, and I memorized the state capitals. My mom's form of punishment.
What are you,
was really,
autistic?
yeah, that's what I know. I felt that way. My mom's punishment was
For jerking off to Luke Perry.
Yeah, for me was instead I wouldn't get hit or grounded. I would be locked in my room, and she would sit on the other side and make me read excerpts from either encyclopedia or I had this map of state capitals, recite the state capitals, and she would I would be in there for an hour or two, and there would be times where I would take like a 10-second pause. And she would be like, continue. Like she never left. Because she could lock me in the room from the outside. Like I was fucking psycho.
Now, you must have a lot of fun, weird facts that most people don't have.
The state capitals is a weird one. Like I was going crazy in Salem, Oregon,
People know their state capitals, right?
Let's go back and forth, because I think I'm pretty good with the capitals. I'll throw a state out, you hit me.
I'm also good at the
Are you
capitals. I
good?
think I'll beat both of you.
Oh, well, how do you do?
Without a problem.
All right, I'll throw out a state. We'll go around the table. First one out. Sucks my dick.
All right.
Luke Perry.
Keep in mind we have listeners, so let's do it quick.
Well, that's a pretty good gag here.
This might go on for 10 minutes.
This is good pause.
There's 50 states.
All right,
I think the problem might be naming the 50 states. That's where we might run into a roadblock.
There's 50? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit.
You know that a huge percentage of Americans believe that there are 52 states?
I thought
Why?
that for a while
Because
there.
they think it's 50 states and then plus Alaska and Hawaii.
Oh, but it's the lower 48 though.
Yeah, it's like 40% of Americans are like, there's 52 states. They think it's like a trick question.
I think Puerto Rico will be a state by the time our life is over.
Oh, God, I hope
boy.
not.
No, you don't think so?
Yikes.
Capital San Juan.
It's too far. Oh, wow. That one I didn't know.
Yeah,
Well,
you were
my
just trying
girl's
to
Puerto
squeak
Rican.
that in.
somehow.
All right. Real quick. Hawaii.
Honolulu.
Now you ask him.
Oh, I asked him
We're
one
going to
now.
go around here.
Oh, okay. Virginia.
Virginia is Richmond.
Oh,
Holy
nice.
shit.
Home
I'm
of the
out.
funny bone.
I am out.
Yeah, it's
didn't even ask you yet.
Should I give him a layup just so he's...
No, give him a hard one. We gotta get to comedy here. What the fuck?
Arkansas.
Topeka, Kansas. Hold on. Arkansas. Shit.
That's an answer.
Come on.
Next word out of your mouth has to be an
All
answer.
right.
Arkansas.
I don't know it.
You don't know it. I
Come
know it.
on. What is it, Joe?
Well, Little Rock's a fine town.
How about
Bill
Alabama?
Clinton. Bill Clinton.
How about Alabama?
Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
Nope. Montgomery.
Yeah.
You fucking pieces of shit.
All right.
I knew that
Jesus.
one. I was just trying to let you know that where the Crimson Tide play their home games.
Little Rock.
Yes.
Shit.
Well, there's so much I want to talk to you about because I barely know you. Well, this isn't a get to know you kind of podcast, but
Right. I feel like we all know each other, but I'm not in with.
well, we went to Norway together.
We did.
Boy,
I was
was
only
that
there
fun.
for 20 hours.
I know, but we had
Wow.
fun. I got great pictures of us. I never uploaded them. I should.
Yeah.
Please.
I
I
had a
feel like
good
it was a
time.
real bonding experience. You watched School Ties on the way to not School Ties.
Little Rock.
What did I watch? Oh, but Toy Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers, yes, with Sean Astin. Rudy.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I
with
love
Will
it
Wheaton.
too.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. First
Will
time I've
Wheaton.
seen it.
Yes,
Yeah, we
you've
watched
never seen it.
And then we ate pumpkin pizza together.
You
in
ate
Norway.
pumpkin
It was
pizza. I ate a
disgusting.
cheese pizza because I'm a man.
Yeah.
I knew better. But
like
now,
that
this is
town.
something I learned about you, and I hope you don't mind. If we can edit this after
No,
if you're going to
please.
be upset.
Please.
You're a lot more nervous a guy than people might realize.
I
You
am.
got a sexy head, and you're an
Right.
athlete, and you're doing very well. But you're crazier than I am.
Yeah,
and it's not close, by the way, listeners.
Yeah, I'm a lunatic, but I think some of the guys who maybe look like I get accused of at least early on in my career I got accused a lot of you only got that because of how you look, and I feel like the other guys I know who look like me don't have the and I'm not saying I'm this good-looking guy. I'm saying what
You're a good-looking
what I
guy.
am.
You're very chiseled
suck it.
feature.
I fantasize about you sexually.
I have bitch tits. If I'm telling you,
Is that right?
yeah, I got to get in better shape. But
Not your head.
a lot
Head's
of the,
good.
I know the head's good. A lot of these guys, they don't have the insecurities and nervous tactics that I had. So I think that's why I'm able to maybe disarm my haircut to the crowd or my face to the crowd, and because right away I think, especially the guys, they want to hate me.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk about how nervous I am. And it's true. And then I think I can, sometimes win them over.
They hate you because they ain't you, folks. Now let me. Oh shit! I had
The nervous thing could have something to do with the being locked in a room with encyclopedias for hours.
It was weird for me.
I think
when
it's
was
more
a kid.
news than encyclopedia. Encyclopedia is weird, but the news is terrifying. You can't show a kid the news. I'd rather show the inside of my asshole to my child.
And my mother is the most nervous woman you've ever been around in your entire life. And that's what I grew up with. My dad was there, of course, but my mother was. The anxiety is, it's bad.
Yeah.
So it rubbed off on me.
Now I want to get some of these dad stories because you have somebody in your act, and he's a
Right.
real, he's a Brooklyn, possibly
Bronx.
mob-connected Bronx guy.
Bronx
Oh,
guy.
boy.
And can you have some of a pearl, a couple of the eggs, the goose eggs? What am I saying? Goosebumps.
Tall tale?
Tall Tale. R.L. Stein.
Yes.
What do you mean?
A story.
A good story. Yeah.
A story about my dad.
Nice yarn.
There's one story. See, the thing is, I think when I first started getting into comedy, I was very insecure about the fact that I wasn't a stereotypical nerd in the sense that these guys would talk about going to concerts or this book or this author or this poet or even this comedian that I never heard of. So I wasn't really because I was sports.
But a lot of comedians are like that. Nick DiPaolo is one.
Right.
And the other guy who...
But I started out at the Creek in the Cave, so you didn't meet many
You
of
did?
those.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
wow.
that's what I mean. I first started doing the open mics there and stuff. So that's what I thought it was, and I was like, oh shit, I maybe I'm not cut out for this. But I realized I am as big as a nerd as any of the comedians who love Star Wars or whatever obscure band. But it's just about sports. Like I've spent over $300 on an authentic 1956 Mickey Mantle jersey. Like my kid's not going to go to school, but I have this jersey, and
Right.
I will never wear it, and that's as nerdy as standing outside for a year to go see the new Star Wars.
Sure,
Right.
It's the same thing, but it's just looked at different. But so with my dad, I guess he would always take me to baseball games, and he is that kind of guy where he you never really know. Now he's just an old dude. But when I was younger, he was in and out of jail,
Oh, boy.
and was always like I remember seeing him on the news once when John Gotti passed away, and I just saw in the background they were showing his funeral. And in Queens, I wouldn't go to. And then I see my dad in the back, just as one of the guys.
Your dad's at
Holy
fucking
shit.
Gotti's funeral?
Yeah, he's just there.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Was he the caterer?
I don't know what the hell he was doing. But
Oh,
he
my
was,
God.
he was just
Wow.
there.
That's insane.
Yeah, so you see these people around, and then actually my aunt, my dad's sister, her husband was killed, and possible mob ties, possible not. I don't know. Like, my family never really got into it with me, but it just always felt that way. And it was one of those things where I felt like I never asked questions, and I don't really care to know, but I always knew that the guys that were out there like, yeah, my dad's in the mafia. They really weren't, because I knew that if there wasn't even an inkling of it, you weren't really proud of it, and you didn't talk about it
Right.
so much. So, but my dad, was still a tough man. So we were at the Yankee game, and we was forget the exact date, but it was 1996, and we were at Yankees versus Seattle Mariners, and Doc Gooden pitched a no-hitter that night.
Yeah.
So nobody, obviously, we went to the game, and we didn't know it.
Right. Not an actual doctor, by the way.
Right, not a doctor. But was on the pills, was doing quite a lot of pills.
Right.
So it's about the 7th inning, and my dad can feel that some shit's about. He could feel that there's going to be like magic at the stadium tonight. And he really wants me to because we were in the upper deck, like we were like by like the lights.
Right.
It's bad.
Wow.
So he says, all right, we're going to sneak down. And this is before 9/11, where the security was tight, but it wasn't insane.
Right.
So we go down, we start making our way down, and right when we're right behind home plate in that first section, right behind home plate, and my dad sees a couple of seats open, because it's still like corporate, it's not all those seats are filled.
Of course.
So my dad takes me to the hot dog stand, and I think he's going to buy me a hot dog, but he says, listen to me. He was like, I'm going to try to get you down here. He's like, but you look, your hair's combed nice, and you look like a normal kid. He said, they're not just going to let us walk in.
Oh,
so
boy.
you're going to have to make believe. I swear, this is like a direct quote. He's like, you're going to have to make believe you have autism.
Wow.
So that's the exact thing he
And you
says.
go, no problem. I read the encyclopedia.
I read the encyclopedia. I know the thing. So this is what my dad's interpretation of autism was.
Oh, boy.
He messes up my hair.
Yeah, that's step one.
He goes to the hot dog stand with a ketchup on his, smears a bunch of
What?
ketchup
Whoa.
on my Yankees jacket.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he tells me to put my jeans into my socks and pull my
What?
socks.
Oh, wow.
This is all my dad's interpretation of it is. And he says,
That's classic.
He's got his diseases mixed up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what he said. So what he says
Is that a disease?
He says, yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
Autism is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mental
Health
illness is
disorder.
not.
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So we go to the security guard, and he tells me right before, he said, look, when I say my kid's got autism, he said, I just want you to, do something. So I was like, what?
Like spaz out?
Yeah, so
Boy.
I said, Dad, like, what do you want me to do? I swear, this is exact, and it's horrible, but I'm telling you, this is just.
Oh, I love
this is
it.
The stories, I'm not filtering it. And he says, look, when I look at you, just drool. That's what he
Oh, this guy's
Wow.
a genius.
Genius.
Yeah, pretend Luke Perry's in front of you.
Yeah, so he goes to the security guard, and my dad says, hey, Dwight Gooden's pitching no-hitter, casual conversation. He goes, yeah. He goes, look, I hate to ask. He's like, my kid is here. It's his very first Yankee game. It was probably my 100th Yankee game. I mean, these guys have taken me to Yankee Stadium for 5 years already, but he goes, it's my kid's first Yankee game. He goes, Doc Gooden's going to pitch a no-hitter. I just want my kid to be close. He's got autism. So, and then he looked at me, and then I didn't, just to drool is hard. So I spit on the security guard. I just spit.
Wow.
Like
Like Roberto Alomar.
Yeah, I spit on him, and the guy goes, ah! And then my dad, looked at me, and he said, I promise you he won't spit on anyone. I'll control him. He said, but can he please just go? I would love to tell his mother that I got to take that he got to see Dwight Gooden. So the guy goes, all right, fine, go. Don't do anything. It was like, whatever, just fucking get the fuck out of here. So we're sitting down, and then right in front of us, directly, so, we're row, 10, their row 9 is Mr. Perfect, the wrestler, Mr. Perfect.
Hennig.
Oh, wow.
He's there. He's
Yeah.
at the fucking game.
Wow.
He's there.
Jeez.
Is he wearing a onesie?
Don't spit on him.
Yeah, no, well, so I said to my dad, Dad, that's Mr. Perfect. And my dad, not big wrestler. I said, who? I said, it's Mr. Perfect, the wrestler. I'm like a huge fan of his. And he goes, okay. He taps him on the shoulder. He goes, hey, Perfect. He looked at the mister. He calls him Perfect. He goes, hey, Perfect. He goes, listen, my kid's got autism. He said he wants to get an autograph with you. No camera phones at the time, of course. He goes, he wants to get an autograph. Can you sign his ticket? So Mr. Perfect says no.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
to an
Not
autism.
So, not so perfect.
To an autism kid and to my dad.
Autistic, I believe. is the
So
word.
my dad tries it again, taps on the shoulder. He says, hey. He
Jesus.
says, hey, Perfect. I don't know. My kid, just quick, could you please just sign it? And my dad had a pen and the ticket. He said, could you please just sign it. He goes, not now, after the game.
Okay,
And
that's
so,
something.
but that, not from my dad.
Oh, boy.
So my dad goes, hey, asshole, why don't you do us all a favor and sign the fucking ticket? My kid's got autism. and then just stares at him. And Perfect is huge. I mean, he's
he's a
fucking
professional wrestler.
And it's 1996. He's wrestling at the time.
Oh, right.
He's in stride.
Yeah, he's the champ.
So the manager is another big guy, or bodyguard, whatever he was. He turns around and they both stand up, and my dad just stands up and looks at the both of them and is like, "You're in my town."
Right.
Like he says that to him. He's like, "You're in my town," and like looks around, and like people are watching now, and they know Mr. Perfect just told a kid with autism that he didn't want to sign his autograph.
Oh my
and
God!
I'm sitting there just fucking spitting on everybody. I'm just nailing people in the back of the head. And he signed my autograph. Signed my ticket. Sat down. We get on the train. I lose the fucking ticket.
You really are autistic.
I'm autistic, but that's the type of thing. Like my dad.
That's
another
amazing.
One.
And Doc through the no-hitter, too.
And Doc through the no-hitter. And it's like,
wow.
It's iconic. Joe Girardi picks him up, and, after he pitches, hit his arms up. And I have that moment through my own eyes.
Wow.
Which is, for me, being like a huge sports nerd, is like, that's something every time you watch a Yankee game, and the Yes Network, they always show that clip, and it's like, oh shit, I saw that fucking for real. I was there.
Right.
Couple of things. First of all, this story makes me hate my dad. Jesus, he called me autistic, but never took me anywhere.
Yeah.
Secondly, you got to watch Mr. Perfect now and be like, look at that pussy.
Yeah, is he still dead? Is he alive?
Yeah, he's still dead.
He's still dead?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still alive?
I think he was
steroids and coke guy,
So he died?
I think. Yeah, he's dead. He's perfectly dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, so it was, so that was, and that's how it was. And I felt like little things my dad would do, I realized like, oh shit, like this guy is, he's pretty crazy.
Now, what if he's still connected and they hear this and they come and whack us?
No.
You're related, but Mark and I, we're not, we're gonna...
Yeah, you're easy to, you're fucking like Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, you got Sicilian blood, that's something.
That's
but,
something.
I don't think they like the Sicilians.
What are you kidding? That's the whole crew is
that's
Sicilian.
where it's from.
Oh, great.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
No, but but nobody's connected. Like I'm not, I'm not claiming I know anything. Like,
right.
That's no secrets or anything.
I know, but you wouldn't if you did, though.
Hey, that's a good point.
Chris just winked and did a chicken wing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the mobsters are big podcasters.
They may be. Who
Oh,
knows?
boy.
When I got to do the David Letterman show, I had a couple of jokes about some mob guys. I changed their names, of course, and people had asked me, "Aren't you scared?" Like, the mob guys definitely watched CBS. And I said, no, the mob guys, my dad's friends who were like, I don't know if they're in the mob or not, but they were the ones laughing their asses off at it all. As long as you're not like telling like an actual fucking event of a crime. Like if I say, like I have a joke about a guy named Tommy Pinesols and Bobby Petts. Those are names I made up. The guys are real, but I'm not going to tell you their real names. I'm trying to write a fucking bad joke.
Right. Those are both great jokes. I love your jokes.
Yeah.
I was doing your jokes on the train last night. Christopher, get rid of her.
Nah, I got that complex about me where I'm like, I'm not a good joke writer. I don't, you know how like you feel like mega. I feel like very insecure. Like I'm not part of anybody's like comedy clique. I'm just a guy that I'm doing all right. I can raise a family. I'm making some money right now, which I know could always change. But
I think you have a clique.
No, I just feel like I'm not. Nobody would ever come to, not that I would want to write for anybody, but nobody, like I wouldn't have confidence in the jokes I wrote. Like I'm Twitter, like I'm not great.
Right.
I'm not a good writer. I think I can tell a story and, do all that. But then sometimes I think like, you know what? There's all different parts of comedy. Not everyone has to be an excellent joke writer.
And that's what writing is telling a story efficiently. If you do it without sitting in a notebook with a pen, then we're all telling stories.
Yeah.
And that's what's always weird to me. Like he's a storyteller and you're a one-liner, but he's just telling a story in one line. I don't really understand that. It's all a story.
It's all, I guess that's true.
And it's all jokes. I never got when people go, "Oh, you're a joke guy."
Yeah.
Well, aren't we all joke guys? That's what stand-up is. Without jokes, it's just talking.
Right.
Agreed. A pregnant woman falling downstairs. That's a joke.
That's it right there.
If it's in a comedy, like in real life, that's not funny, But jeez, why did I say that?
I don't know.
That's a joke.
I was joking.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Sarah pregnant?
I wrote that. No,
Oh,
God, no.
Are you hoping?
Oh my God, no.
She was.
We're not hoping.
She was till he pushed her.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
jeez.
saying. Whoop.
That was an escalator, though. Her shoelace got stuck. Whatever happened to you guys? It's terrifying.
Oh, it's the worst.
Anyways, well, we think you're great. Let's keep it cooking here. What else do we got? Mob, you played hoop in Europe, if I'm not
I did.
mistaken.
I did. Yeah, it didn't, last long. Couple of weeks.
Any stories there? You banging Brazilian broads? Where's Brazil?
Brazil?
I think it's outside of Europe.
Brazil? No, Brazil's in South America.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Oh,
And-
it's, outside of Europe. Yeah. No,
Barcelona. No, that's Spain.
That's Spain.
That's
Madrid.
Wait, Buenos Aires.
No, I don't think that's the capital. I think it's the biggest city. I think Brazil City or something like that is the capital
Brazil
of Brazil.
City.
No, the capital
Yeah.
of Brazil is Rio de Janeiro.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Little Rock.
I think there is
Little
a
Rock,
Brazil.
Arkansas. Louisiana,
It's
you would have known
Brazil
that one.
Baton Rouge.
Brasilia. Yes, I
It's
knew
not
it was,
Rio de Janeiro?
It's Brasilia.
Brasilia.
By the way, I get the. I
Yeah,
win
you get that
for
one.
being Brazil City.
Because it's
Brasilia.
international. You went international.
Sounds made up.
No.
Brasilia. You know?
Sounds like a verb or whatever.
No, with
doing
sports, with basketball. No, the funniest stuff with basketball I think used to happen like in college, like when
well. Hit us.
like when I would, I played Division III school, so it wasn't anything big.
Oh, never
Remember
mind.
one time we played like Massachusetts Bay fucking like community college or something like
they
that.
were good.
And I was at the free throw line and they just start chanting, "Fuck the Yankees." And it's like, what? I'm playing basketball. It's
the wrong sport.
in a community college.
Right.
And like you're still destroying me because I went to a school, went to St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn. But you know what actually with not with sports, but just with school, I think is the most interesting thing about my school is in my homeroom, okay? These are
You had homeroom in college?
in high school, I meant to say.
Okay.
These are the cast of characters you had in Archbishop Malloy High School.
Bad college.
You had this guy Mike Baxter, who played professional baseball for like the Cubs and the Mets, and then you have this guy Will Rosinski, who's a professional boxer. Always fighting in the Barclays Center next month. But the biggest one you had was this guy Gilberto Val. He's the cannibal cop. Have you guys heard that story?
Oh, yeah, the Cannibal Cop. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like a huge documentary now, and this guy like made like this huge national news, because he was the he was accused of like eating trying to eat and subdue women, and I was like, I went to high school with that guy, and then I thought back. We went to Christian. We had to, it was Catholic school, so we did Christian marriage class there. Which I went to. It was an all boy Catholic high school, by the way. So in normal Christian marriage class in a co-ed high school, you have a man and a woman. You have two teenagers, boy and a girl, and you have to babysit an egg for the whole class.
An egg?
An egg. You have to dress it up, put a face on it, and that's your baby.
Like a
It's
Twitter person?
No, yeah, no, like a fucking omega-3,
Gotcha.
vegan bullshit egg.
Yeah.
So we had to put the face on it and hair and all that shit. And I remember now, and I never thought about this until I started thinking back, like what my experiences were with Gil. He was my Christian marriage partner, so we were husband and husband, and he wanted to every fucking day. He would be like, "We should just break the egg. Let's just break the egg." Like he wanted to break it so bad and eat it, and I was like, "Oh shit."
Interesting.
Now you want to eat these women.
Yes.
But allegedly he didn't do it, and now he's out of jail. The reason why it was a big deal is because it was like one of the only court cases in Supreme Court history that he was in jail for life. Like, that's it. They threw away the key, he was in jail. And then a judge went back, a separate judge, and was like, you can't convict him of murder if he never murdered anyone.
He didn't even do anything.
He didn't
It was
do
just the
anything.
thoughts in his
you
head.
got to get him out of jail. So this kid went from, he's my age, he's 30, 31 years old, went from processing, but he has a 2-year-old daughter, processing, I'm going to be in jail for the rest of my life, to fast forward 2 years, you're out. And he said on an interview, like, they didn't tell him, like his lawyers didn't prep him, they just said, yeah, you're free.
Wow, that's
Because
crazy.
imagine how you thought he was in a dream for like a whole day.
By the way, very, very Christian of them to make you think an egg is a human being.
Yeah,
I
I know.
It's very, very sneaky.
If you crack it, you get an F.
Yeah. If you, I mean, who knows what would happen? But yeah, if you weren't supposed to break it, yeah. And I think the more damage it was, the worse grade you would get.
Wow, that's
wow.
amazing.
Did you have a brown or a white egg?
Jesus, knowing me, probably brown. My kids have Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember it now.
Now you got the baby. How's that going?
I got It's good, man. I'll tell you what, having a child, everybody was saying, it's going to be the hardest thing you ever did and ruin your career. And I think that's true if you allow...
If you try hard.
Yeah, it'll ruin your career if if like Luis Gomez, he's ruined.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm joking.
He
No.
was ruined from the get-go.
No, Lewis is
Jesus.
great. Lewis has
joking.
been Lewis is actually a guy I talked to about having a kid. He's actually been cool. Him and Bobby Kelly have been really cool with advice.
Oh, two of my favorites.
Yeah, they're great dudes. But it motivates you. It's like everything I've ever done in my life, I've just done for me. And I don't think that's selfish. I think that's what we do. You just do it for you. And it's like I don't work as hard for me as I do for someone else. But then when it's like, oh shit, I have to go out and make money and do something that's cool for my daughter. It's like, oh, you'll do it. Like,
right.
I'm gonna do it. Like I probably at times didn't do your guys' podcast because I was like, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to go up there.
Jeez,
but now
that hurts me.
But
I get
now that
that.
I have a daughter, it's like, no, I wanted this guy. They have a great podcast. It's great. to be involved. It's my career. Do it for her.
You're
So
here
I'm
for
doing
the
this for
baby.
you. I'm doing this for you.
Wow.
All right.
Well, if she hears this someday, I'm terrified. I made
She
that
will.
down the stairs joke that I'm regretting.
I'm glad you had the baby.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. But no, but it's a cool thing. I mean, I think I told you should try it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's for me. I'll have to just figure out other ways to motivate myself.
Start
'Cause,
with an egg.
Yeah, I'll just get an egg and I won't scramble it.
Do
There
the
you
egg.
go.
I got another dad story. I've told this
Please.
a hundred
That
times.
first one was a humdinger.
Yeah, this is a 9/11 story. I don't know.
I
It's
love
all
a
this one.
9/11.
Okay, so this is so like I said, I went to Archbishop Malloy High School. So 9/11 happened. I was a senior, right? My mom worked. She survived. My mom, but she worked in one of the towers. I don't know which one, but she worked there. So I knew when the buildings, when they came in and said, "Boys, the buildings collapsed." I said, "Oh shit." I started to just cry. I couldn't.
course.
I couldn't control it. It was like the only time it's ever happened to me. Hopefully, the only time it ever happens to me, where it's like uncontrollable. You're like, shit, my mom's dead. That's it. I didn't even say goodbye to her. I think I called her a bitch when I left because I was 17.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Those damn encyclopedias.
I was like, I was like, fuck. I knew it was Brasilia. So I think so I start to cry, and then this kid starts making fun of me. So,
Oh, my God.
yeah, because
Who's this kid?
it's just something. You see a guy. You're an old boy Catholic high school. We're 17 years old. You see a kid crying, you're gonna laugh. It's not
Yeah.
like fun.
If his mother died,
But you don't know that yet.
American tragedy.
I didn't announce it. I just start losing it. So
Okay, I
in my
guess.
own, so
Boy, you guys are more forgiving than me.
right. So I have like this.
I didn't go to Catholic school.
I have like the ape, DNA in me, a little bit of my dad, which is subdued. I'm more like my mom than my dad. But at this moment, he starts laughing at me, and I just snap and take my desk, and I broke it over his head.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just
Wow.
boom.
He's got his own 9/11 fucking tragedy.
Yeah.
Did you learn that from Mr. Perfect?
Yeah, I called him perfect, and I hit it over like his head's back. So this kid's on the floor.
Oh man.
So right away, you can't do that shit in a Catholic high school.
Sure.
So they take me
Or
out.
any high school.
Any high school. So they take me out,
Jewish.
throw me out. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
That's why they wear yarmulkes.
True. So they take me out and they throw me out. And then that was Tuesday. And then they said, look, you're expelled. There's no chance you're ever going to come back. You're expelled. That's it.
Wow.
I don't know.
You got the mom leeway.
yeah,
Right, but-
you're autistic. Your mom's dead. Come
Yeah,
on.
everything. But they said, we're a Catholic institution. You can't do that stuff. So
Forgive me.
Right. How about I
So-
break my egg in your face?
Repent.
So I don't say anything. By the way, I get home that day, Tuesday, 4:00. My mother, I open the door and my mother's there because I was calling her the whole time. She wasn't picking up her cell phone. She was the only one who wasn't picking up her cell phone.
Wow.
So I was like,
Oh.
shit. I was called all my other aunts and they're all fine except my mom. Where is she? So open the door and her legs are bleeding. So then I fucking
Gee
go from like
whiz.
0 to 100. I'm like ready to go join the Marines. Like I'm ready to call,
Oh,
join the
wow.
Marines and leave school and just go to wherever the terrorists we thought
Yeah.
they were at that
Yeah.
time.
They sent
But
you to the wrong country, by the way.
I know,
But
right.
I digress.
yeah. So, but my mom turned out my mom fell off the bus in Brooklyn, so she escapes 9/11
Wow.
and then
Oh, my
trips
God.
over an uprooted sidewalk in Brooklyn,
Wow.
blocks away from our house. And
Oh,
she's like,
my-
no need. So
Thank God your mom's a drunk.
I know. By the way, speaking of 9/11, did you guys feel like, if you remember that time, did you feel like you didn't want to jerk off that night?
I felt it, but I still did it.
You still did it?
Yeah, I jerk off
still
on
did
Christmas
it
too,
Yeah.
which feels bad.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I don't really have memory of jerking off or thinking about jerking off.
I remember doing it.
I was scared. You
But I
did
felt
jerk
bad
off.
about it.
Yeah.
I prayed right after, like a real Sybil psycho.
Yeah. If you smashed someone's head, thought your mother was dead,
Yeah, so-
bloody knees, and then still jerked off.
Still jerked off, yeah. Like
You
a
put on
real-
some Luke Perry and went to town.
Yeah,
That's it.
Those 90210 reruns.
So okay, so that happened. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, no, school's closed in the city.
Yes.
course.
Yeah, everything's closed.
Love
yeah,
it.
fucking. And so Thursday, I just showed up to school, even though I knew I was expelled. I never told my mom. I never told my dad. I just
Like
showed up
Costanza.
I just like pulled a Larry David, just walked in, and so I show up Thursday, and then the principal's like, DeStefano, like, what do you even think that you're doing?
Yeah.
About to walk in, and I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're expelled. I was like, ah, shit. So I pull out my Nokia, I get thrown out. And now I'm
Yeah.
standing on Queens Boulevard. That's where the high school was. Call my dad. I said, Dad, look, I got some news for you. I just got thrown out of school. It actually happened Tuesday. I broke the chair of the kid's head. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, listen, I'm going to be there in 10 minutes. I was like, you live on Staten Island. Like 12 minutes later, this guy shows up. Wow. And like the wolf, holding a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, New York Yankees batting practice jacket, like bathing suit shorts, and like shitty flip-flops. And he shows up and he says, we're going to go into school. I was like, all right. So we walk in. He goes to the secretary, and he says, "Yeah, I need a meeting with the principal." And they said, "Well, you can't just get meetings; you have to schedule." He goes, "I'm going to walk into the principal's office if you don't just." I'm here. I'm going into his office. So she says, "All right, it's room whatever."
Wow.
So he walks in and he says to the principal, he says, "Hey, I'd like to have a meeting with you." And he was on the phone, and he says like that. And then my dad hangs up the phone.
So the principal's on the phone.
Yeah. So this is like another Mr. Perfect moment. Where
Yes.
because this is only 5 years later where I'm like, oh boy.
Right.
So I'm still fresh off.
Is there any part of you that, like, this is amazing and crazy, but is there any part of you that's embarrassed by this? Like,
Absolutely.
your dad's that guy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Embarrassed and not ashamed. I don't want to say ashamed. That's the wrong word. But embarrassed and also like this is not how I'm going to be. Like he's got like a temper.
Right.
Like I don't want to do it. So he hangs up the phone. So we sit down. So he says, "Listen," he says, "I understand my son got expelled." He said, "Well, he broke the chair over somebody's head. What would you do?" And my dad said he was making fun of. He thought his mother was dead. I would do the same thing. And the principal says, "Well, you're the problem." So my dad goes, "Chris."
Oh, boy.
So then instantly my dad goes, "Chris, do me a favor, lock the door."
Oh,
and I was like,
Oh my God!
your dad takes out an encyclopedia.
yeah.
Now you just can't leave.
Now you just can't leave. So he says, "Lock the door." So I said, "All right." I said, "All right. I'm just doing what my dad tells me." So this guy's shitting his fucking pants. Like shitting his pants.
Yeah, I would imagine. But he has to be somewhat of a tough guy because he just said you're the problem to this maniac.
He is. Well, he's a man. He was a brother. Like not a priest, a brother. So he was
Black
an old
guy.
Yeah. No, like a Catholic brother. So I don't know what they're.
And nobody's going to fuck with a brother.
No one's gonna fuck with a brother, right? You can't. So I'm standing in front of the door, and then my dad says, "Look, here's what we're gonna do." And Dad said, "I got two options for you. The second one you're really not gonna like." He said, "Here's the first option, which I would like. This is my favorite." He was like, "The first option is we just find a way to get my kid back into school." He's like, "And we forget it ever happened. He goes through whatever detention, whatever we need to do. He's at he gets we get him back in school. That's the main thing. Release the expulsion, get him back in." He goes, "And here's the second option, and this one you're really not going to like." He said, "I come over there and I break both your kneecaps." Whoa. And then just stares at him. And he said, because as soon as I said it, I was like, "What?" And he says, "I know you're going to think that," to the principal, he goes, "I know you're going to think that I heard that line in a movie." He said, "But I'm the guy they write the movies about."
Wow.
He was like, so when he said
Whoa.
that, I was like,
God.
"Holy shit.
Hallowed be thy name.
Then I felt
Gee
like, whoa.
whiz.
Yeah. So then he goes, "I don't care about my repercussions." He said, I'll give you my name, my address, my social security number. He said, "I need this kid to he said, "I would rather spend the rest of my life in jail for killing you than have to listen to his mother's fucking mouth because he got expelled from school."
Wow.
So my dad was basically saying he doesn't want to listen to my mom.
Right.
He'd rather go to sit in a jail cell with some peace and quiet.
Right.
So he was like,
I don't know about the peace and quiet. but
Right. Yeah, with the peace in his ass.
A lot of brothers there.
True. So he says. So the principal says, "All right. Well, what do you suggest we do?" So my dad says, "Well, he did break chair of the kid's head. So how about we expel him, throw him off the basketball team?" Because I was, I wasn't a starter or anything like that, but I was on the basketball team. When you're a kid, like that's what you love to do. And I said, "Dad, fuck that, break his legs." I can't. If I'm going to school in this shit, I want to be on the team.
Right.
So that's what they came to. No basketball, detention before school and after school every day of the year from September 13th.
Oh, my God.
So that was till June. So my school day would start at 6:30 in the morning and go to like 4.
Wow.
And no hoop.
No hoop. Nothing.
Wow.
So that went through, and then my dad and the principal became actually friends. And my dad, all of us, the kid was going to sue me. That went away.
Wow.
My dad took care of it.
That went away.
Wow, that is amazing. This makes me jealous. Like you said, I'd love a dad to have that much passion.
Yeah, but now he's very now he's got diabetes, and he just sits there like.
Well, I mean, he's
the
old.
The Yankees are out, and now that's it. He just waits. He's kind of like on autopilot till April.
Right. I hear you, but boy, that is fascinating and
Sounds
amazing.
more like your dad's the solution,
The solution.
not
Yeah.
the problem. But has he ever done this shit to you? Because like taking out a thing on you where you fuck up, and he says, "I'm breaking your legs."
No, my dad. I'm telling you, My dad was one of those guys. My parents got divorced. I think my parents divorced when my mom was still pregnant with me. Like, that's how much.
Right.
Because my
Wow.
dad was like, when he was young, he was like a compulsive gambler. Like, I think he bet the entire life savings on like the Montreal Expos. So, like, it's just something, something so dumb.
If you did that in '94, it's not a bad bet.
Yeah, right. No, I know, strike year. But oh yeah, they were in first place, I think, right?
Yeah,
When
they
the
were
strike
unbelievable.
happened. Yeah,
They were on pace
they
to
had
win
like
140
Pedro
games,
and
yeah.
Randy Johnson, Jorge Fabregas, I think they had, right?
Yeah, Marquise Grissom and the whole list. It's
All those
crazy.
guys.
Yeah, crazy team.
So they got divorced, and then my dad was always the type of guy, like, he lived on Staten Island, didn't drive, so he would have to take 2 trains and a ferry to see me, and he would come every single time he could. So 2-3 days during the week, every weekend. Best dad ever. As many comedy shows as he can come to, he still comes to. Hears me do, shit about him, same shit, or like, and he's aware. My dad's like, with comedy, like, you tell stories, you have to embellish it. Everything is true, but it's like you got to write jokes and make it a presentation where,
Of
like,
course.
I'll have, like, my aunts will come to the show and be like, that didn't happen, like, right in the middle of a fucking joke. I'm like, Antoinette, will you stop?
Right,
Like, my
right.
dad gets it. He's like, yeah, just let him go.
Right.
You know?
Oh, it's that kind of New York street storytelling.
Right. Yeah. He was very supportive. I was a physical therapist before I started doing comedy, simultaneously while doing comedy. My dad was the only one in my family who really didn't turn his back on me when I quit physical therapy to pursue this full time. He was like, yeah, you got to go for it.
Boy, this guy's we got to get him on the
He's
show.
the man.
He must have some crazy stories.
If his blood sugar's under 100, he can, and his wife lets him out, he can come out.
God, imagine him in the 50s. I mean, he must have been a real
Yeah. Oh, he was
tiger
a fucking lunatic.
in the sack. I can't imagine.
Woo.
Now you
Bronx
got to
guy.
be. Now I know you have a gal now. You're fettered,
Right.
And you have a daughter. Are you allowed to speak of sexual escapades from your single days, or
Oh,
no?
sure. Yeah.
right.
I mean, yeah,
We're a little
Okay.
worried because
Yeah.
we know she's.
I get in trouble either way, so
Okay,
it doesn't
great.
matter.
Oh, great. We know she's a feisty cat.
Yeah,
Hell yes.
a firecracker.
Firecracker.
Tom
She's a
Van
lovely
Wong.
woman, though.
Yeah,
Lovely woman.
She looks beautiful, and the kid is beautiful. I see your Instagrams.
Gorgeous
and everything.
baby, really
looking
do.
kid.
She really looks a lot more like Jasmine than she does me, so that's good for a girl.
Now, I don't want to go off in too much of a tangent here, but you seem like a guy that has a real thick piece. I'm basing that on your head and your haircut.
Well, here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
I think girls have said my dick doesn't look as big in the pictures as when I would send them as it does in real life. So they would always be talking to their friends. Multiple girls told me this when I was single.
Interesting.
Well, we said that, this guy has a little dick and we would like make fun of you.
What?
But then when we saw it in person, I don't put the right angle on it. And
That's good,
I had
then.
the iPhone 4 when I was taking all those pics. So
Aha.
it was like, but
That's the
now,
problem.
but girls always say that my dick is nice, and I have one of the smoothest dicks, a perfect circumcision. My mother's told me this. I didn't tell her about sex, but the doctor said that's the best circumcision I've ever done.
Wow.
So it's like an unbelievable. And my
Your
mother,
dad threatened him beforehand.
Yeah. He
and
put
my
a
mother
blue
talks
ribbon right
about
on
that,
there.
which is strange.
That is interesting. So you got a
Holy
perfect
hell.
cock.
That's what they say, but it's not huge. But it's got minimal vein. It's got enough veins where it looks strong, but not like so much where it's crazy.
Like
Yes.
it just hit the gym.
Yeah, a wart or two, so it's been around, and then
Take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get the warts out of there.
No, not anymore. I mean, fucking come
Wait,
on.
a wart or two? What?
No,
You still
I'm
gotta
saying
take it out.
everybody's got a wart. Everybody's got
I got
a
no
speed
wart.
bump. You got nothing?
I used to have a plethora, but I got rid of them. You
Oh
gotta
yeah,
get
I've
rid
gotten
of
rid
them.
of. They're gone now, but I'm just saying.
Oh, I see. I got you. Yeah. You got to smooth them out.
Yeah, smooth them out. Yeah.
Wait, what? What are we talking here? HP?
You got the HPV. If you had
I've been
syphilis,
having
you had HPV.
I haven't had a wart.
Some people don't produce the warts.
I'll give you one.
All right.
Yeah, Joe, give you one.
All right. Now I want to fit in.
There's
Give
only
me a wart.
two strands that give you warts.
Uh-huh.
I think it's like 11 and 18.
You'd
or
rather
something
have
like
the
that.
warts because if you have the warts, you know you don't have the cancer.
Ooh.
But that's not necessarily true. Don't give
Okay.
out false information because you can have the wart kind is not the cancer kind, but that doesn't mean you don't have more than one strain. You could conceivably have 1,000 different.
That's
You
true.
can have every
That's
strain.
true.
So just because you have warts doesn't mean you have cancer.
All right, I'm
but
wrong.
if that's
I've
the only
been
one
wrong
you
today.
have,
Rio de Janeiro was a fucking stupid guess.
Brazilian,
Little-
nailed that.
Little Rock. I got a freckle on there. I got a birthmark on the head.
You sure it's been there from day one?
Oh, I got pictures.
All right.
Yeah.
Polaroids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got a dimple. I saw that.
I
one
think
time
I
when
got
you
to
were
be honest
showering.
though. I think in the Mark's beating me. My single. I thought I was king. I thought I was setting records in the summer of 2014. But Normand is.
Well, you put some great numbers
He's
up
really
there.
slamming bitches. See, but the thing is, I don't know. Are you going for quality or quantity or both?
I try to meet somewhere in the middle. So I got a little qual, a little quan.
Me and my boys, we had a point system.
met that
for
girl.
me, what we would do is we would have if you were we'll take it from the. So we would send my boys a picture on the group chat. If she was a 5, So you get a 5. That means I could pay for a plane ticket. She can come from wherever. If she is in fucking Brasilia, you can fly her in because that's how hot she is. She is a 5.
So this is a 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Oh, okay. I go by a 10
It's
scale.
a 1 through 5.
So
I never
you get
heard
a
of that.
number 5.
Autistic.
So she's a number. Yeah, I know, that's what we do. So she's a number 5. You can fly her in. That's how hot she is. If she was a number 4, you can pay for a train ticket. Number 3.
Train from Brazil.
That's the train. You got to be,
Right. Continental. Lower 48.
Lower 48. So a 3 or Canadian.
That's
true.
Yeah,
It's
she came
true.
from
Yeah.
Montreal.
Upper
A
4.
3 was a bus ticket. There's a little expensive.
Bolt bus, baby.
Yeah. A 2.
Greyhound.
Yeah. A 2 was you could pay for an Uber.
All right.
Yeah. A 1 was she has to live in your apartment building. That's the only way. Like, she's got to be like you can't even be seen out in
that's
public
fun.
with her.
Now,
Jeez.
what about the ones that don't qualify? Are they zeros?
Yeah, if you got a 0, then it's not even worth your time.
Oh, wow.
That's on my boy. So
Boy.
I went through some shallow times, but I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun. I got a lot of stuff in the spank bank. I'm happy I did it. Like, I feel very grounded. I would never cheat on my girl, definitely because I love her, and it's hard to, when you have a daughter, it's like you can't go back as like a cheater and hold your daughter. It just would feel weird. But also,
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what, man? Like, if it all went away, if my dick fell off tomorrow, it's like I had a great run. I really,
Yeah.
Yes.
And if it
Can't
falls
be
off, if it falls off and leaves a hole, you can call
it.
Luke Perry.
There it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
stick it.
You gotta. I think it's healthy. You gotta fill up your appetite and just cut it off.
Yeah,
right
there
there.
are a couple
Yeah.
though that you like. Just when I started getting in the relationship, I didn't bang them yet, and I was so close. And those are the ones you're like,
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
jeez.
And I have a few where I'm like, I'd love to go back and fuck her again.
But you can't anymore?
You
Doors
can't now.
closed?
I fucked it up, but I blew them off and blah blah blah.
But time heals all wounds.
That's
Even if your
true.
dick falls off,
Even-
it heals
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So maybe you can go back someday, and then they're a little older, a little more mileage.
I know, but
that's
Right.
a sexy thing.
then you come
Right.
back and they have 4 kids and a hubby.
Yeah.
So
That may be the best time to get them though. When they have
Eh.
kids and divorced kid,
I do love a
Interesting.
mom.
cougars.
I read an article recently about the lady genitalia that said there's that rumor of like it stretches out, you get fucked a lot, the big thing. But that's all rumor. The vagina is very resilient, it goes right back.
It's a wives' tale.
So it doesn't matter. What about childbirth though?
I don't know about childbirth.
Vaginal childbirth has got to loosen the goose.
I don't know about childbirth. I didn't get that far into the article 'cause I don't plan on having one.
I was there. I was at my kid's birth. It is a sight.
Yeah, tell
quite
us
a
about
scene.
that. What are you
Fucking
feeling?
wide open. Well,
Did you
here's-
cry?
Oh, of course. If you don't cry, you're a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But my mom was in the room, and then my dad tried to stay in the room, and he got kicked. My dad has a fucking New York Post newspaper trying to look at my girl's vagina. My kid coming out, and the nurses were like, "You gotta leave, sir.
Oh,
like she
wow.
can stay, my mom can stay, but like, what are you doing?" So he waited in the waiting
He's
room.
doing a crossword.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
He's doing
And
the
then
jumble.
the day my daughter was born,
Jumble.
May 19th, was the first day of the big script read through for the sitcom that I'm on, Benders. It's on Thursdays, IFC. So
Written by my manager.
Yes, yeah. So May
I
19th.
think I might have got an audition.
Yeah. So May 19th at 10 a.m., 10:04 a.m. My daughter's born. May 19th at 12 noon is when this first read through is supposed to happen. So my girl falls asleep. She tells me right before she falls asleep, she's like, I've had a long day, so you can go. I show up to the fucking read through with like placenta on my elbows,
Right.
just reading, doing
your
the read through.
elbows.
Yeah, and then I had to do we filmed 8 episodes of a scripted show in a month, which is it's fucking
That's crazy.
16, 17-hour work days every day, but yet I had the newborn baby, so I wasn't sleeping. So I feel like the entire month of, the 30 days from May, like 19th, 20th till June, I slept like, I don't even know how much, like nothing. I don't know what happened in sports, what happened in my life. It was just
Wow.
go to work, feed the baby, stay up with the baby as long as you can to give, my girl a break, and then go to work the next day.
Wow, you're like Da Vinci.
Good for
yeah.
you.
It was good though. I think it all happened at a good time for me. Here was my philosophy, because some people are like, why didn't you you just got the show, you got some things going on in your career. Why have the baby now? Why make it harder? And it's like, I don't think it was that my life is harder. I have a lot more, obligations now with the baby, of course, and I'm more selective with what I try to do with my career, because it's like, time away from my kid. Like if you tell me now, hey, your spot's at 8:15 and then I don't go up till 9:30, well then that's more visceral of a problem to me, because it's
Right.
like I could have been with my kid for an hour
course.
before she fell
Yes.
asleep. So
Yes.
don't fuck with me. Like
Yeah.
so it's a little bit more of an attitude, I have a little bit more of that attitude where it's like, if you tell me I'm going to be here, like we got to go, and then I got to go do my thing. To get back to her, but it's like, I didn't want to be one of those comedians some comedians I see, some comedians don't want kids, and that's cool. But some comedians I see, I'm like, oh wow, you're in your mid to late 40s now. Even though your career's going good, you really wanted a kid, and you passed up the opportunity. And I used to be able to feel the fucking misery. Like some guys we know, I won't out them on here, but I was like, oh dude, I can feel like how miserable you are because you never had a child and you never even tried it, and now you're so regretting it. So I was like, you know what? I got this chance. She's pregnant. Let's just do it. And I think I'll be happier. Even if my career took a dip, I think I'd be happier having the baby. I think.
Good for you.
But so far, your career has not taken a dip. You've done the TV show, which is great, and you're on the road, and now you're on a very, very successful podcast right now.
That's it.
True.
And
Highlights.
could be more successful if you tweeted it out there.
Tell a friend.
I'll tweet it.
Please.
I will tweet it.
But
Keep it away from the mob.
now, is there a specific? Again, I don't want to get you in trouble with the lady back home. Is there a specific memory of maybe some wild, sexy,
Some wild
square-headed sex?
Yeah, thick piece, bigger in person.
You're playing pro ball in Europe. There's got to be a couple of Italians with hairy pits that ate your asshole.
I heard a juicy rumor that you were fucking a girl from every country in the World Cup.
Yes. Yeah, I was going. We had a thing where I was going with the World Cup. As team would get eliminated, I would try to fuck a girl from that country.
Wow.
So that's what we were doing. So we were going out to all these, because you go to any sports bar when the World Cup was going on, you had people from that country,
right,
loads
okay.
of women from whatever. So
Right.
I was going, and I took down a few. I don't know if I got every country.
How
but
was Ghana
Yeah.
or Romania?
Romania? Ghana I got.
Wow.
Yeah, Ghana I got. Romania I didn't get.
You got gonorrhea. is what
I
you
got,
got.
I got Portugal for sure. Yeah. Yeah. You got
Thank you. Sorry, I'm waving to the fake crowd.
gonorrhea.
Boy, that was one for the books.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I got a few. I got the USA, of course.
Yeah, well, that's easy.
Come on, I got her last
I got
night.
Costa Rica.
I got USA this morning.
Greece. Oh, I got Greece. That was
Oh,
nice.
you sure did.
Italy. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I got some weird ones. But so that was cool. Yeah, I mean, it all sounds like, dirtbag
No,
shit now.
dirtbag.
But
That's
sex is
fun.
You know what? It's fun, and I did. Yeah, and I don't look at it that way. It's like, you know what? Yeah, so what? We had sex. Good. So did every girlfriend you've ever had. Why
Yes.
would you want a fucking virgin? I don't want that shit.
No.
No.
That'd be brutal.
No verge.
Get that hymen out of here.
Yeah, I don't need that shit.
I'm in Roth.
Did you fuck a turkey?
You can't beat gonorrhea. That was a good one.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we have to keep going here, so we're going to have to try. We got 11
Yeah,
more
you have
minutes.
to keep
Yeah.
swinging.
Boy, that's exciting. So,
By the way, one of the funny something that I still giggle at when I'm driving or sitting on the subway, and you may not even remember, we were doing Bobby's podcast. This is years ago, and people were talking about how small your lips were, and Luis Gomez said your lips look like a dog's asshole. And I still just sit and think about that. Was a funny moment.
Boy, that story took a turn because I thought it was going to be a pearl that I had, and I was so excited. And you really
No, you got ripped.
turned the.
No one saw the
Page.
Lewis Pearl coming.
Yeah, Louis, yeah.
They're
Got a
rare.
big laugh.
Boy, Lewis is taking a beating on
He's a
this
funny
one.
Yeah.
guy.
I love you,
Funny
Lewis.
guy.
I'm
Oh,
scared to death.
How about a breath mint?
he needs a plug.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I said that in a Joe List voice, so you don't know who said that.
I feel like you're reluctant here. Give me a threesome. You seem like a threesome guy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
threesome.
lay it on
Bang.
me.
A couple of girls from Australia.
A reverse bukkake ever? That's my
Nothing.
dream.
No, what's a bukkake again?
That's bukkake's when 1,000 guys come in a girl's face.
No.
I want to revert. That's disgusting to me, and I feel bad for the woman. But I want to
I
reverse.
fucked a girl from Afghanistan.
Holy hell!
Oh, yeah.
I fucked a girl from Afghanistan.
She almost killed your mom.
Yeah, yeah, she did, that bitch. So I gave it to her.
They didn't make the cup either.
Yeah, and she was hot too. She was
A hot Afghani.
from Afghanistan.
You saw her face.
Yeah, she was in Vegas.
What?
Yeah.
Was she
baby.
lost?
Yeah, yeah.
I bet they've
Holy
cut her head
hell.
off since
Yeah,
then.
it was, this was a couple years back. But yeah, banged her and it was great.
Wow.
Jeez, did you come in her eye, sis? All right. I'm
Okay,
trying
that's
to match
that's not
Ghana
bad.
here.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Now, what did she have the headdress and the
No.
Jedi gear?
Nothing. No,
Okay.
she looked like just your classic, fucking strip trash.
Just meat and
Just
potato.
sitting
Oh,
at-
really?
Sitting at a fucking slot machine.
But she was from Afghanistan.
She was literally from Afghanistan. She gave me a fake name.
What was the armpit situation?
Yeah, it
Smell
was
and
decent.
hair.
Yeah, I banged a raw dog, and then my friend banged
Raw
her.
dog?
And then
What?
my friend banged her and fell in love with her.
Oh, that's a
As a
messy
matter of fact.
falafel.
And then we
Jesus.
found out her name wasn't Suzette or whatever the hell she told us. It was,
Suzette.
some crazy bullshit.
Wow, your friend fucked her after you.
After me.
He should have his hand cut off.
I know, he should.
Oh,
Boy,
man.
that's crazy.
Afghan.
And tell me about this Australian pair.
Oh, the Australian threesome, that was a nice one. So basically,
yeah.
so she was smoking hot. She one girl, she was literally fucking like gorgeous, like supermodel gorgeous, big tits and all that. And then one of them looked like the one other girl. I swear, she looked like Joe List. She really did. She
Really?
she looked like you. She was like heavy and looked like you.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kept trying to get the friend out of there. Of course, like anybody would. I'm trying to get her.
I'm right here.
Trying to get the cab with the Australian girl back. We're trying to go back to the apartment with the Australian girl, and I'm trying to get her friend to, go back. I'll pay for a cab for you. You to go back to the hotel. Just let me take this girl back to my apartment, and I'll send her in a cab back to you. And the hot girl's saying, no, we prefer to stay together. And I'm like, I'm not a psycho. And then like the Australian girl was trying to tell me, no, it's not because we want to have a threesome with you. It's not that I'm scared to be alone with you.
Right.
This one wants in on it too.
Uh-huh.
So
That makes her look a little better.
You're right.
Immediately.
yeah. So we get in.
That's
and-
just like me, by the way.
yeah.
Always trying to get in
that's
there.
Classic Joe List.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get out there, we get him back to my place, and we're doing it, and the fat one keeps trying to take over, and I'm like, I'm with this one.
Uh-huh. Fat
so-
Joe List.
Yeah, Fat Joe List.
Tiny mouth, at least.
Yeah. So what winds up happening though is the fat one just takes. I feel bad saying the fat one, but she was
The heavy one. Just say Joe List.
The heavy one.
Yeah.
So Joe List just
Yeah.
takes my peach and just starts sucking it, and it was like the best blowjob ever. Just deep throat, like
Sounds
balls
about
in the
right.
mouth, just spit everywhere, and it was the best thing that's ever happened.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Wow, she
Yeah.
is like Joe.
Glad to know.
Yeah.
He's a ball washer.
Glad to know
He's
we're
a
good
ball
at this.
washer. Yeah.
Love a washed ball.
Love
Wow.
a wash ball.
I want to fuck a dog in the ass just so it looks like you're blowing me.
Yeah.
Put a little glasses on the cheeks.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, that's
perfect.
fun. Wow, a threesome.
Where was
Yeah.
that? What city?
That was here, New York.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
they came to a show at the Comedy Cellar. Actually, woo!
No
Get it.
kidding.
Somebody
Yeah.
told me, maybe it was you, Madison, Wisconsin, years ago. You had two girls just like offer up a threesome.
Yeah, but no, it was in Madison, but I couldn't do it. I was dating my girl. So
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Hey, happy to know, babe, is easily passed up.
Ego
So,
boost, at least.
Easily passed up. Yeah. So, but
What do you do? You gotta get
they say some
ice
crazy
bucket,
shit.
your cock or something.
Because I got some of the people who know me, who come out of the shows, they know me from the MTV stuff, so they're younger girls, and they'll say some crazy shit to you after the shows. But
Dude, young girl, I've been fooling around with this 23-year-old. It's a whole different world.
They're
it's
nuts.
insane.
How
The
so?
best. Just like there's no, they're like dudes. There's no like, hey, let's go out to eat. It's just like, you want to fuck? I need some dick. Like they'll just text me that.
Right.
I'm
Wow.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
Boy,
wow.
Is that a turn on? Because I feel like that would be maybe it would be a turn on.
It's a turn on, but it's a little like you're taken aback.
Right,
What's it
right,
like?
right,
It
yeah.
feels like a trap.
yeah,
Yeah.
you got it is like. I mean, they're so just fucking aggressive. I mean, for if you can get a decent, you get a decent amount of followers on Instagram and social media. I mean, you don't need Tinder. All the girls, they're sending you messages all the time if you're
right.
available. Now, I post pictures of my family. Nobody sends me any messages anymore, so that's better. That
Right,
way.
right.
It's like I don't miss that because it's it's tempting, but
Sure.
I mean, it's easily I could get rid of it now, but it's just like I feel like as sexual as they are, they're somewhat still respectful. Which
Sure.
is weird.
Of course, they're like us. I mean,
Yeah.
they're liberated. For years, they should be
Right.
able to do this 100 years ago. They want to get fucked.
Right.
Girls should be able to go, hey, I'd like a dick inside of me.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they hold each other back is a big part of it too.
Of course, yeah, and there's still a whole
Societal
stigma.
yeah. But let me ask you this there, D. You had a good run.
Oh yeah.
You're a busy guy. I'm getting pretty busy myself. So I've been trying to I've been getting a lot of message on Facebook and Instagram like, hey, we should meet up. And I'm trying to get straight to meet up to bone.
Right.
You're a sexier guy than me, so I don't know.
I mean,
Now, I still got to do not the dinner, but I still got to have drinks and meet him again. I'm just trying to get right to it, just for efficiency.
you have a different look. I think you have a look that a lot of girls would prefer you over me. I think they would. But
I don't know.
But
You
what
got a hell
I
of
think
a
you got
jaw.
to do is what I would started to do at the tail end of it was there was no more Mr. Nice Guy. It was just like,
Yes.
I know
Oh,
what you
boy.
want. You know what I want. In the first message, I would just say, hey, how are you? Here's how my messages go. They would say, oh my God, or whatever they would say. I would say, how old are you? First question.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
question. They
Good
would
one.
say their age. Okay, prove it. Make it, send a picture of their license. Boom, easy. Then next question is, let's meet up. They would say, oh, didn't you want to get to know me first? Be like, no, I'm into it for the same reason you are.
Wow, you put
And
it on
then
them.
some would be like they'd be at the apartment or in the hotel in minutes.
Yeah.
And some would be like, okay, it's not my cup of tea. And I'd be like, good. I don't want you. I didn't want that type anyway.
Boy, you
Right.
call the bluff.
Because at
Interesting.
the end, it just became about sex. But it's better now. It's better now to be like, I think in a relationship, when you get in a relationship, it becomes like very wholesome. Like it's almost like the relationship obviously is harder than just banging some girl you just met, and like the fantasy is sexier. But like when you start to go through a relationship, and it's like when you're like building something, it's like, oh wow, this is fucking something pretty cool.
Of course,
Yeah,
You can do. You
definitely.
don't want to ruin it.
That's the best thing in the world.
But that's but when I was single, man, it was
It was on.
woo. What are you gonna do? You're gonna just keep banging until you find Mrs. Right?
I mean, I don't think there is a Mrs. Right.
Right.
There's no perfect person. Like everything's gonna fall into place. You got to build it.
Yeah.
And I'm putting off the building because I know I've found a few girls where I'm like, this girl's amazing, and then I get nervous and I fuck it up on
And then
purpose.
You fuck it up on purpose. Yeah, you sabotage. I was doing that.
Yeah, and I think eventually I'll, you can't eat candy every day. You want to
Right.
fucking
Yeah, you want to
baked
do
potato.
something.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? You if you ever and Sarah ever broke up, you think you'd just fucking stick them like Luke Perry?
Well, I'm engaged.
Oh, you are?
so-
Congrats,
Yeah,
man.
you didn't know that?
No, I'm not in the loop.
Oh, you gotta get back in the loop.
I'm not. When did you guys get
no
engaged?
sleep.
A month ago, month and a half
congrats,
ago.
man.
Well, a
Where'd
month
you do
ago. In bed. I was in bed, and some people have been judging me. So
Why?
fuck you, bed people.
I don't think I'm fine. Why? Being
It was
bad.
great in bed. I had a nice direction. It was fun. But yeah, we're engaged, so it's
for
exciting.
you,
So we
man.
gotta make it work, But
Good for you.
it's going great. I love it. It's fun to have sex and then goof around,
Yeah.
as opposed to being, hating that person
Good,
or whatever,
man.
or hating yourself.
Good. Enjoying the marriage.
Yeah, I love it.
Good. You
Well,
want kids? Or
I
no?
don't
Great.
hate myself for the record.
I hated myself. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about
okay,
me, Mark.
okay.
Jesus.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm very sensitive.
Yeah. Well.
Well, you guys are talking about how great it is to meet someone. Now I feel so alone.
Oh, jeez. Well,
I'm joking.
Jeez.
Oh boy. Well, this is a weird ending. we
right.
gotta wrap
Fuck
it up.
this. Fuck sarcasm only.
All right, Little Rock.
Yeah, I would always hate myself. I'd have sex and be like, I don't even know this person. I hate myself. I don't even like. A lot of times I'd have sex with people and I didn't really like them or know them. I found they were like annoying, but I wanted to get laid.
Yeah.
They probably felt the same way about me, obviously.
Right. I think you go
And,
through like Mark. You'll realize like how I was. Like you're depressed.
Right.
You are. That's what I would do. I was
jeez,
depressed.
Chris.
I'm telling you, dude. It's when you get to the other side and you're like, oh shit, I'm with someone I like. You'll realize that it's actually better. I'm not. Go fuck your brains out right
I
now.
mean, I was in a 10-year here.
But I'm
10-year relationship.
Right. Well, you're doing the exact right thing. You're taking the time, but I think you'll notice at the end, eventually it'll just start to feel numb, and you'll be like, "This is all the same to me. Pussy is pussy." And then
Yes.
you'll want to get to the girl who's like you find something more with. It'll happen naturally.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're depressed. I mean, I feel like I know you pretty well. I don't think you're depressed. I think that sometimes sex is pleasurable. So it's the same thing with when girls get called a whore or a slut. It's just fun to get laid. And I think a guy's the same thing. I
Yeah.
don't think they're necessarily depressed. I don't think these girls necessarily had a father issue. I mean, if they're getting bukkake, they had a father issue, I would
Right.
say. But just because you want to fuck everybody, that doesn't mean you're depressed, or it just
I
means
guess
you want
I-
to fuck. It's fun.
I guess I didn't mean that you were depressed. I guess I meant like it at some point for me it became depressing because it was just like the same girls. And it was
Right,
just like
right,
whatever.
right.
And then I was like, I started to get, I don't know, I started to get a little depressed. Not that it's like, oh, cry for me, I'm banging so many chicks. I just remember feeling like, I don't know, not alone, but like just something was like missing.
Well, I do have the thing of like, I didn't get laid in high school. I wasn't that guy.
Yeah, so you're catching up.
So I'm catching up, and also I saw girls all the time, and I was like, oh, I would pine for them. Like I was like, oh, I want them so bad. I would think about it all the time, like how I
Right.
could never have them. So having them for once is
Now
fun.
they come to you.
Now they're coming to me,
That's
which is
fucking
so
great.
I'm taking advantage because I'm like, it's like a poor kid who finally gets some money. I'm holding on to that fucking money. You know,
I'm telling you, you
Yeah.
got better numbers than me. You definitely surpassed 100%
I mean,
better
it's-
numbers than me.
it's not even
Also-
about that. I just,
Well, no, you're the champ.
This happens.
You're the Kansas City Royals.
This happens as men, and this is another way men are very fortunate, is that we tend to get more desirable as we get older. You come more
Sure.
into your body, and you develop, and you get to know more who you are
And
as a
success.
person. You get a little more successful, and so guys like us that maybe they weren't desirable back in the day become more desirable, and it's hard when you didn't get laid, like Mark just said. And all of a sudden, people want to have sex with you and become. You get a nice plump apartment in New York. You can become a better comic. You're killing everywhere. You're more handsome than you were when you were 17, obviously.
braces.
And tubes in the ears.
Yeah.
That's just a side note. I don't know if it cockblocked you at all,
Freckle on the dick.
but you start getting more desirable, and it's hard to not
Right.
whatever.
And the career is desirable. I mean, the girls
Sure.
love funny guys.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, which people say is a myth, but that's they definitely do.
They love it.
Well,
Yeah.
they like. I think girls, and I'm this way. I don't know how you guys. We got to wrap it up here, but Like I see my girl
I
on
didn't, I got a kid.
stage. I see a girl on stage. It's that I find it so sexy. Now a lot of guys are like a funny girl, whatever, a comedian. But there's something about that stage commanding attention that is so sexy for both genders. I think.
Sure. Talent is big.
Talent's big, of course, and comedians come off at least as pretty smart, wise people. I think.
Oh,
I guess.
If I'm texting with a gal and she's being funny back, I'm immediately like, this is great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like her 10 times more.
Well, we
Yeah.
need that, yeah. But anyway, we gotta wrap it up. We got real at the end here.
it was
Yeah.
good to get real.
Pretty rare for the show.
yeah, real time with Bill Maher.
Boy, what a great episode! It's so fun hearing
great
some of these
job.
stories.
You think so?
Oh,
I
you
think
were
so, for
out of
sure.
the gate.
All
Mr.
right, good.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love it.
Mr. Perfect, the warts we talked about.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Do you have
well,
anything you
that's
want
a
to plug? When is Bender's on? Tell him when.
Bender's on IFC on Thursdays at 10 p.m. There's 3 episodes left in the first season. We got that. And then ChrisDComedy.com. Chris D Comedy across all social media platforms. And, yeah.
And go see Chris live on the road. He's fucking hilarious. And you can see him in the city all over at the
I'll
stand
be
and
at
whatnot.
the stand.
Cellar.
I'll be at the cellar. I got both. But when's this coming out? When's this episode out?
We don't know yet.
It's either
Tomorrow, possibly, or
one-
next week.
or 1 week, yeah.
1 week. All right. Well, I won't be around.
Nah, he's dying.
He's got, this is a Make-A-Wish for Chris. He has a lump on his tits, and
Yeah.
Both of them.
but one of the funniest guys there is. One of the funniest guys I've ever met, and very, very charming. And you know what the word is? Endearing.
Yeah.
very endearing.
Yes.
There it is.
That's what it is.
Don't let
Thank
his
you.
face fool you. He's a real wacky nut.
I'll suck your pussy.
And you know, Mark and I, from our hit Twitter account at Tuesday Stories, and you can email us Tuesdayswithstories at Gmail, and Mark is at Mark Norm on Twitter.
And at Joe List Comedy on the twits.
That's me, and then Instagram, and
Check out the fan page on Facebook, and check us out on Sirius On Demand if you're not listening to this on a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I assume you are. Who knows? I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't
but,
know. The Mob, get on the pod. The Mob has a great podcast. Check that out. It's called Lock the Door, Chris. I don't know. All right. We'll see you next time.
yeah, great episode. We won't see you, but you'll hear us, and we'll be thinking of you.
We love you. And see us on the road and Chipotle it up.
Yep.
Take it easy. That's lunch.
Bye.
Hanging